Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something powerful right now. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on what's missing or what's possible? Are you focusing on your fears or your future? Because listen to me and hear this with every cell in your body. What you focus on, UATT or ICT. This is not philosophy. This is not theory. This is left. You see, every moment of your life, your brain is searching, filtering, looking for answers. And guess what? It finds exactly what you tell it to look for. You focus on pain, you'll find more of it. You focus on lack, you'll find it everywhere. But if you focus on growth, if you focus on strength, if you focus on the power within you, then, my friend, you start attracting the life you were born to live. What you focus on, you attract. This truth is at the core of everything you experience in life, whether you realize it or not. Your focus is a magnet. It pulls people, situations, and outcomes toward you based on the dominant thoughts and emotions you're projecting into the world. If you constantly focus on problems, you will attract more problems. If you dwell on fear, doubt, or lack, you will find more reasons to feel afraid, more reasons to doubt yourself, and more examples of scarcity in your life. But when you shift your focus toward possibility, growth, and abundance, your reality begins to change. Your brain starts to pick up on opportunities, your energy starts to attract people who align with your goals, and life begins to respond in powerful and often unexpected ways. It's not magic, it's the mechanism of the mind. Your brain has something called the reticular activating system, so raise it. It's like a filter, and it decides what you pay attention to based on what you repeatedly focus on. Ever buy a car and suddenly see that car everywhere? That's your RAS in action. Now imagine what happens when you constantly focus on failure, rejection, or not being enough. Your mind highlights every experience that confirms that belief, and guess what? You feel more powerless, more stuck, more overwhelmed, not because your situation is fixed, but because your focus is. But here's the powerful truth: you can train your focus. You can redirect it toward the life you truly want. When you begin to focus on your goals instead of your obstacles, your entire world starts to reorganize itself around that clarity. You begin to notice new opportunities, take different actions, and make choices from a place of purpose, not fear. You stop reacting and start creating. That's the shift. That's the power of focus. You are not your circumstances. You are the meaning you assign to those circumstances. And that meaning comes directly from your focus. Two people can face the exact same challenge. One will see it as a wall, the other as a stepping stone. The difference isn't the event. The difference is focus. One person focuses on the pain and stays paralyzed. The other focuses on the possibility and finds power. That's the secret. Every day you are making unconscious decisions about where your focus goes. Are you focused on what you can control or what you can't? Are you focused on what's working in your life or what's missing? Are you focused on who you're becoming or who you used to be? The answers to those questions shape your reality far more than any external factor ever could. If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing what you consistently give your attention to. Your focus is not just how you see the world. It becomes the world you live in. You are programming your future every time you choose what to dwell on, what to believe, and what to expect. Your mind finds what you direct it to seek. This principle is not just a matter of thought. It's a fundamental truth about human perception. Our brains are wired to search for patterns, and it's up to us to decide which patterns we want to recognize. The truth is, we live in a world overflowing with information, opportunities, and distractions. Every moment, millions of bits of data are bombarding us from all sides, but we cannot process it all at once. So our minds filter and focus on what aligns with our beliefs, thoughts, and priorities. This is why two people can experience the same event in completely different ways, because they are paying attention to different things based on their internal focus. When you direct your attention towards something specific, your brain starts to seek out all relevant information related to that focus. For example, if you constantly focus on scarcity, your brain will filter for signs of lack, whether it's in your finances, your relationships, or your career. You will unconsciously gravitate towards situations and people that reinforce that belief. It becomes a cycle, and you become trapped in it, looking for evidence that supports what you already think is true. On the other hand, if you focus on abundance and opportunity, your brain begins to work on your behalf in a different way. It starts to seek out solutions, possibilities, and resources you might have missed before. Suddenly, you notice the opportunities that were always around you, but your mind wasn't paying attention to them because your focus was elsewhere. Your brain is always looking for evidence, so if you focus on the positive, it will find positive examples. It's not about ignoring the challenges, it's about deciding where you're putting your attention. The mind is a powerful tool, but it works best when it has a clear directive. The power lies in the fact that you can direct your mind to seek whatever you want. You are not a passive recipient of whatever comes your way. You are the architect of your own mental environment. When you consciously choose what to focus on, you begin to reshape your experience of the world. You start to see things differently, and as a result, you begin to act differently. The choices you make, the actions you take, and the people you attract are all a result of where you've directed your mental energy. It's important to realize that the focus you choose doesn't just affect your thoughts, it also shapes your emotions and your actions. Your emotional state is influenced by the thoughts you think, and your thoughts are shaped by what you focus on. When you focus on negative experiences, your emotions follow, often leading to actions that reinforce those negative feelings. But when you focus on solutions, gratitude, and growth, you shift your emotional state and become more empowered to take inspired action. The mind's ability to find what you direct it to seek is a gift. It means you can change your life by changing what you focus on. The more you deliberately choose to focus on the things that empower you, whether it's your goals, your strengths, or your potential, the more your life begins to align with that energy. You start attracting people, opportunities, and experiences that match your new way of thinking, and that creates a positive feedback loop. The more you focus on growth, the more you experience growth. The more you focus on success, the more you step into success. It all begins with your focus. Focus creates reality. Shift it, shape it, own it. Every moment of your life is shaped by what you choose to pay attention to. The thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, and the energy you emit are all a direct result of where you focus your mind. This is a powerful truth that many people overlook. They believe that life happens to them, that they are at the mercy of circumstances beyond their control. But the reality is, you are the one creating your reality through the lens of your focus. What you focus on determines the experiences you attract into your life. It determines how you interpret events, how you respond to challenges, and what actions you take moving forward. When you focus on your dreams, on the possibilities that lie ahead, your life begins to reflect that focus. Your decisions become aligned with your goals. The obstacles you encounter no longer seem insurmountable because you are looking at them from a place of possibility, not limitation. You become solution-oriented. You see every setback as an opportunity to learn, grow, and adapt. Your focus on success becomes a magnet for the opportunities, people, and resources that can help you get there. You start to notice things you wouldn't have seen before because your mind is now tuned into the frequencies of success, growth, and abundance. But the opposite is also true. If you focus on the problems, on what's not working, on the things that scare you, you start to attract more of that energy. Your brain searches for evidence to confirm what you believe. You become consumed by the limitations, the fears, the doubts. Every challenge becomes a barrier instead of a stepping stone. You're caught in a cycle of negative thinking that keeps you stuck in a place of inaction and frustration. When you focus on lack, you become blind to the opportunities that exist right in front of you. The energy you put out into the world is one of scarcity, and the world responds in kind. The power of focus is not just about what you think about in the moment, it's about the direction you give your life. Focus is the GPS that guides you to your destination. It's the fuel that powers your actions, the lens through which you view your potential. When you shift your focus from the obstacles to the solutions, from the past to the future, from fear to courage, everything changes. Your reality shifts to match your new mindset. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you begin to feel empowered. You realize that you have the ability to shape your life with the thoughts you choose to entertain, the beliefs you decide to hold, and the actions you take because of those beliefs. What you focus on shapes who you become. It's not just about the goals you set, it's about who you decide to be in the pursuit of those goals. When your focus is clear and aligned with your values and vision, you start showing up differently. You become the kind of person who takes bold actions, who makes things happen, and who refuses to settle for anything less than their best. The key is not just to focus on the end result, but to focus on the process, on the person you're becoming along the way. As you grow in your focus, you grow in your potential, and in turn, you begin to attract a life that reflects that growth. Limiting beliefs are destroyed by empowered focus. Each of us carries beliefs that shape how we see the world, how we interpret our experiences, and how we act. Some of these beliefs serve us. They empower us, they fuel our growth, and they propel us forward, but others hold us back. These are the limiting beliefs, the ones that whisper to us that we're not good enough, that we don't deserve success, or that we're not capable of reaching our potential. These beliefs are like invisible chains that keep us tethered to mediocrity, keeping us stuck in patterns of self, doubt, and fear. But the powerful truth is this limiting beliefs can be shattered, and the key to breaking them is in the focus you choose to give them. The mind is incredibly powerful, but it is also highly suggestible. When you focus on a belief, whether empowering or limiting, it grows stronger. The more you focus on the belief that you're not worthy, the more you reinforce it. Your brain starts to look for evidence to confirm that belief, and before you know it, that belief becomes your reality. It controls your actions, your decisions, and your responses. You act as if it's a truth that cannot be changed, but the truth is, limiting beliefs are not absolute truths. They are simply stories we tell ourselves, often based on past experiences, fears, or societal conditioning. The good news is that you have the power to change these stories. You can rewrite them, replace them, and release them. The first step in breaking free from limiting beliefs is recognizing that they are there. It's often easy to fall into the trap of thinking that our limiting beliefs are facts, that they are part of who we are. But when you take a step back and examine them, you can begin to see them for what they really are: false stories, old programming that no longer serves you. Once you recognize the limiting belief, the next step is to shift your focus. Instead of focusing on the belief that says, I'm not good enough, shift your focus to the belief that says, I am capable of growth and transformation. Instead of focusing on the past failures that keep you locked in self-doubt, focus on the future possibilities, on the person you are becoming, and on the steps you are willing to take to get there. When you consciously choose to focus on empowerment instead of limitation, you begin to create a new narrative. Your brain starts to seek out evidence of your potential instead of evidence of your inadequacy. This shift in focus is not a one-time event, it's a practice. It requires daily intention, daily effort. But the more you focus on empowering beliefs, on your strengths, your potential, and the opportunities around you, the more you start to dissolve the power of limiting beliefs. You begin to take actions that reflect your new mindset. You start seeking out experiences that reinforce your self-worth and your abilities. You begin to surround yourself with people who uplift you and challenge you to be your best. When you focus on empowering beliefs, you start to see possibilities where others see obstacles. You start to act with confidence, knowing that you have the tools within you to overcome any challenge. And over time, the old limiting beliefs lose their grip on you, replaced by a new belief system. One that aligns with your true potential, your vision, and your purpose. Decisions, not conditions, determine your destiny. Every day, you are faced with decisions, choices big and small, that will either propel you toward your dreams or keep you stuck in a cycle of inaction and limitation. And it's not the circumstances you find yourself in that determine where you end up, but rather the decisions you make in response to those circumstances. Your circumstances do not define you. Your decisions do. What you choose to believe, what you choose to focus on, and what you choose to commit to are the things that shape your future. In fact, the most important moment of your life is the moment you make a decision to take control, to stop being a passive observer of your life, and to start actively creating it. Too often, we allow external circumstances to dictate our actions. We look at our current situation, whether it's our finances, relationships, or career, and believe that because things aren't ideal right now, they can't get better. We wait for the perfect moment to take action, or we tell ourselves that we can't change because of the challenges we face. But here's the truth: your conditions do not define your possibilities. What defines your possibilities is your decision to do something about your conditions. It's the decision to not let fear or doubt hold you back. It's the decision to take responsibility for where you are and where you're going. When you make a powerful decision to act, everything begins to change. That decision is the spark that ignites the fire of your future. You stop waiting for things to fall into place, and instead, you start making them fall into place. You take ownership of your life, and you realize that no matter what's going on around you, you have the power to decide what your next step is going to be. Whether it's deciding to take action on your goals, to change your mindset, or to let go of limiting beliefs, every decision you make moves you closer to or further from the life you want. And it's in those moments of decision that your true power lies. The greatest achievers in life are not the ones who had the easiest circumstances. They're the ones who made powerful decisions in the face of adversity. They decided to keep going when everyone else said it was impossible. They decided to learn from failure instead of being defeated by it. They decided to take action even when fear was present. It's these decisions that separate those who succeed from those who don't. It's the willingness to decide, the courage to commit, and the strength to keep going that ultimately determine your destiny. Too many people are waiting for a perfect set of circumstances before they act. They wait until they feel ready, until they have all the answers, until the conditions are ideal. But the truth is, you'll never have all the answers. The conditions will never be perfect. There will always be reasons not to take action, but the most successful people don't wait for the right conditions. They create them with their decisions. The decision to show up, the decision to persist, the decision to keep moving forward, even when things are tough. These are the decisions that define your life, not your conditions. The power to change your destiny is in your hands right now. Every decision you make is an opportunity to change the course of your life. Whether you're deciding to go after your dreams, to break free from the past, or to make a fresh start, it all starts with a decision. And the more decisively you make those choices, the more you begin to shape your future. Remember, it's not your circumstances that determine where you go, it's your decisions. And the time to make those decisions is now. Focus is your superpower. Use it with purpose. The ability to focus is one of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal. It shapes your experience, dictates your outcomes, and drives every action you take. When you learn to direct your focus with intention, you unlock the potential for extraordinary success in every area of your life. But here's the thing. Focus is not something you can take for granted. It is not automatic. In a world filled with distractions, noise, and endless information, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. But the truth is, what you focus on is what you become. The energy you invest in your thoughts, emotions, and actions will determine the reality you create. This is why focus is not just a tool, it's a superpower. And like any superpower, it must be harnessed and used with intention. To use your focus with purpose, you must first understand that where your focus goes, your energy flows. The direction of your focus determines the direction of your life. If you focus on what's going wrong, you'll find more problems, more reasons to feel defeated, more obstacles to overcome. If you focus on your weaknesses, your mind will continue to seek evidence that confirms them. On the other hand, if you focus on what's going right, on the opportunities around you, on the strengths you possess, you begin to create a different reality. Your focus on the positive fuels your energy and drives you towards solutions, growth, and possibility. The more you train your focus on what you want, the more your mind begins to seek out the resources and strategies to make it happen. The most successful people in the world understand the power of focus. They don't let the distractions of everyday life pull them away from their goals. They have mastered the art of focusing on their vision, even when the world is trying to tell them it's impossible. Their focus is laser sharp, unwavering in the face of setbacks and challenges. And this focus doesn't just help them achieve their goals, it gives them the power to take bold action, to move forward with confidence, and to build the life they desire. When you focus with purpose, you stop being a passive participant in your life and become an active creator of it. But using focus with purpose requires more than just paying attention to what's in front of you. It requires being intentional about what you let into your mind. It's about consciously choosing what thoughts you allow to take up space in your head, Do you spend your time dwelling on past mistakes, on what you can't control, or on negative self-talk? Or do you spend your time focusing on your goals, your potential, and the next step you can take toward achieving them? The difference in these approaches is the difference between living reactively and living purposefully. When you focus on what you want to create, you begin to shift your mindset, your actions, and your results. Focus also requires discipline. It's easy to get distracted, to let the noise of the world pull your attention in a million different directions. But real success doesn't come from multitasking or constantly jumping from one thing to the next. Success comes from focusing on what matters most and giving it your full attention day in and day out. When you focus on your vision with clarity and consistency, the world begins to align with that focus. Opportunities appear, people show up to support you, and you begin to take inspired action toward your goals. The key is staying focused long enough to see the results. Your focus is your superpower, and when used with purpose, it has the power to transform your life. But you must choose to direct it consciously, to guard it from distractions, and to use it to fuel your growth and success. Every moment you invest in focusing on your dreams, your goals, and your vision is a moment that shapes your future. You have the ability to focus on the life you want to create. The question is, will you choose to use that power to its fullest potential,